Hello, it's just gone 4 p.m. and today I'm not doing any dash cam. I thought I'd get into a habit of doing it. It makes it different from normal. But today I've run out of ideas of where to go. I was thinking of just going around town doing a piece to camera, but that was the only plan I had, and it wasn't. I left it open because I wanted to start the edit today for 2 hours and then go out. But not that many things. There have been things that happen, not major things, but silly things. The least silliest of them all was that it's raining at the moment, so that's not inviting. Although it would have been a nice drive in the rain. However, I have to remember to take off the autofocus, otherwise you'll see nothing but raindrops on the windscreen, and that's not good enough. Although as I say, I have to remember not to do it. Manual focus is the alternative, and I would have done that. That's the least obstacle I had today. The other one was to do with Olive. I've been looking at the forums and they were talking about bug fixes. Well, if there's bug fixes, where are the changes? Because the file on the website hasn't changed since April last year, yeah. So and it was talking about Alpha 2, and of course yesterday was it yesterday or the day before? I downloaded it. Had some problems trying to open the files. Oh my gosh, yeah, it was true. In the end, it was a bit laggy. I didn't like it, and I thought I've mentioned it all that in yesterday's video, which is currently exporting. I'll come to that in a sec. I've lost the thread. Olive. So anyway, but what I'm trying to say was I washed my hands of Olive 2. It was just too much. But when I looked at the forums again, just by chance, the main programmer said be careful with these Alpha 2s because they're just for tests, for them. And then the programmer says, if you want to, I advise you stick to the Alpha 1s. Alpha 1.x, X being the sub-release of the Alpha 1. And that seemed appealing to me, so I went to download it, but there was no install. It was just a zip file with various files on it. I didn't know what they were. And then I started, and then I was told, and I thought the website said go to, this is Shortcut's website. Shortcut? Olive's website said use a compiler compile it in music compiler. And basically it's one of these terminals that you get on Linux. So I installed a terminal, and then I had to start typing all this sudo stuff, and it was running and running for ages, and I thought, no, it's not worth it. And I'm probably going down a dark alley. So I aborted, and well, while it was running, I just hit the restart button. But when it restarted, it didn't restart. It was restarting, taking ages and ages and ages to restart. So I had to crash out the hard way, do a cold close, I think it is. So anyway, when it was back up, I installed Shotcut and edited away, and I think that delay also played a part in me not thinking about going out. And it was still quite early, because I think I got up quite early today, before 9, about 8ish, 8:30. I think it was about 11 when I started. I know, because when I put the telly on, there was a film on film 4. However, that could have been yesterday. So, install Shotcut, edited yesterday's video. I've just kicked it off now. As I said, it's 4:10 in the evening. After it's evening or afternoon at 4 p.m. I think it's late afternoon, early evening. And now I'm looking forward to having a plate of chili con carne on toast. Still using mature cheddar and a nice mug of coffee. I find if I put hot water in the mug first, then coffee, and then hot water again, I get a nice taste in the coffee. Also, yesterday's video was edited on Shotcut, and I decided to use hardware encoding. It's much talked about on other YouTube channels regarding exporting. Somebody was choosing an editor and went to Shotcut because it's got hardware encoding, which means you can make use of the processor, like use all of it, you know, knock out, ignore everybody else, and just take ownership of the processor. And well, I thought I'd take it. I've got the option, and I said when I looked into that, I wasn't sure, and they said it was for an NVIDIA chip. Mine is a Intel. So I asked, so I put it on, actually put it in the comments of someone's YouTube. I said, well, mine isn't in NVID, mine's an Intel, and they said, well, it should be okay. So I thought, okay, I remember that yesterday, so I ticked it. And I also ticked the parallel processing, because that seems to help. And I thought, oh, this is going to take ages to export, because I'm ticking a lot of things. And I'm also going to do a average bit rate setting 40 million bits per second. Megabits per second. Megabits per second. And surprisingly, even now looking at it now, the blue bar, it's a green bar, has gone, it's already a third of it's done. And it was a over 20-minute video, and it was going to take about 40 minutes to export, and it took 40 minutes. And this one is the same, and it's going to be finished in half an hour, all because I've ticked the hardware encoder. and yesterday it worked. I was expecting it to crash because it does crash, but of course it crashed in the old days, and of course with these, every time there's a release there's a bug fix and an improvement, so it gets more stable, and it worked just like that, and the quality was amazing. I watched it yesterday and it was really great. I mean, I look at the trees and there were no blocks, no little squares, no Lego or Minecraft looking blocks in the trees and the foliage. I was amazed. That was last night. As soon as it finished, I made a sandwich and watched it. I then watched it again this morning over the baked beans on toast, and I noticed that the quality had dropped. I don't know what YouTube's playing at. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, it said it was 1080 HD, but it looked like it was 720, as if I'd been using Lightworks. Anyway, I'm beginning to feel a bit hungry, so I'm going to leave it there and start on the chili con carne on toast. I'm still eating my chili con carne on toast, but the ETA kept changing really quickly. 1 minute it was 16 minutes, next minute it was 24 seconds. And I thought I'll give it a few minutes on here and go and check, which I just did, and it said failed. I couldn't believe it. I've got coffee on my finger. I thought it only had 24 seconds left, so I thought, part of me thought, I think it's finished alright. So I went to where I saved it, which is the desktop, and the icon looked good. Normally if there's no, if the icon didn't have a picture from the video, then I know that it didn't work. So I double clicked on it, expecting it to not open. Actually, I expected it to work. I was optimistic. So it opened, and it. I thought, okay. Obviously, it fell down at the end. At the end of the video, where all the titles are. So I started from the beginning. Check the intro, where the titles are. Okay. And then to the dialogue to see if because I played around with the audio bitrate as well. I shoved it up to 384 because YouTube said so. If it's stereo, it should be 384. Anyway, dialogue was fine. Even the background music was a bit audible. Sometimes it disappears under the normal video, and so it's straight to the end, and yeah, perfection. So it must have failed, I don't know, trying to close the file on it. But as far as the MP4 file, the actual video file to upload, it was okay. And it's going to take an hour to upload, then process. But now that I don't do the end screen anymore, it means I can hit public when it's uploaded and processed without me having to change it from private to public. I tick public during the upload. So within the hour, it's about 4:30 now, I think it was. I just have to break. I'm in YouTube at the moment watching my last video. I thought I'd watch it again because of the quality situation, and it seems okay. hard to tell whether it's the weather or the brightness. So I'm going to put it on mute, exit out. It should give me the time straight away. It hasn't. Let's try the info button. In fact, it's 5 o'clock. Just gone 5. Not bad. What time did I kick off the export? And what time I said in the last clip at the beginning was a few minutes before that, and I think I said it was just gone 4. So a whole hour to upload a half an hour, to export a whole hour, a half an hour video. That's not bad. That's pretty good. When you think sometimes half an hour video can take hours. But now that I tick the hardware encoding and the parallel processing, mind you, it produced an almost 8 gigabyte file. I'm sure my desktop can probably hold about 15 gig, but there's also, you need some memory for the processing, and that hardware encoding means it's using the whole processor to do one thing. But it's the second time it's produced 2 MP4 files successfully. I'm a bit concerned it said failure. I'm going to have to go into the forums and find out why that is. I think it's because of my old laptop. But yeah, great news. I've nearly finished my meal anyway. Only got that much left. I think it's about 1 or 2 forkfuls left, so it's not as though it's going cold, because it's got cold, and it would have done anyway. Right, so I'm going to carry on watching the video I was just watching, and then watch somebody else's video. He's a skateboarder, and it just appeared on my home page on the YouTube as a recommendation. Sometimes when you don't subscribe to someone but you watch a lot of their videos, it pops up if there's a new one. You think, oh my gosh, I remember him. So I started watching that, and phew, what an explosive intro he has. I mean, these people make proper content, you know. So editing and all the gimmicks are just a sideline, but when you've got the content and the gimmicks, I think I just want one of those, you know. Anyway, I'm going to watch said video. Just occurred to me that I didn't finish my story about Olive, because I was backtracking on Alpha 2. Anyway, I saw this notification in the forums to say don't use Alpha 2, use Alpha 1. Oh, I did mention it, didn't I? I remember saying 1. Did I say 1.x? Yeah, I did, didn't I? I mentioned the terminal. So I don't know how much rubbish I've put into my computer, because when I aborted it, I was thinking of doing a restart from factory settings. I thought, oh my gosh, I've got so much rubbish into it. I don't think a simple uninstall of this terminal app will reverse what it's done. It's just stuff sticking in there. And I wonder if all that rubbish may have reduced. I better do a memory check. Maybe I've lost a lot of. I lost a couple of gigs doing there. Gigabytes. Not festivals. So I better check the memory later. I could check it now really because it's while the browser's in use. But I'll check it later. I'll carry on watching. Let my mill go down. I've just been downstairs to check the post. It's about 20 to 7. Half an hour before that, I had a nap after watching. Well, the video's just gone up. It's the video before that, plus someone else's video, and yeah, funny that. I just decided to close my eyes. Told Google to remind me in half an hour. And the alarm went off and I don't know where I was. Only seemed like 5 seconds ago. Right, so now I'm going to. On the way out, I turned off the laptop because it had uploaded. But I didn't get a notification from you. I really need a script. You see, if I had a script, it would have said, before going down to check on the post, check the memory on the laptop after tinkering about with it earlier, trying to install Olive 0.1.2 and all the fun and games behind it, installing a terminal, installing all these updates as if it's a Linux machine or a Linux operating system, and the export that ran quickly like yesterday because of the hardware encoder, for some reason today failed. Well, it said it failed, but it hadn't failed. I've watched it and it looked okay. So I think it's because I was watching the video, and after it finished, and I knew it had failed, and I couldn't spot any problems. There was an issue with the volume, but then again I did drop the decibel by 5 or something because I thought at 20 instead of 15 I could hear. It was so loud, it was it was shattering. And when I dropped it by 5, it's only good on the headphones, but in reality it was quiet. And I did up the audio bitrate from 256, which is on the clips I record individually, to 384 as per YouTube suggestion. So I've got to leave it alone. Put the volume back to 20, even though it shatters, and leave the bitrate at 256. But I think it's those terminal settings, I've installed a lot of rubbish. I'm going to do a factory restore. I know it's going to take hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. It's been 15 minutes, 1-5, so I better check on the progress. What I've done is I've reset the PC, went straight in at 38%. There was a problem resetting your PC, no changes were made. Oh. Cancel. I don't even know what time it is. It's sometime after 8 anyway. I can just check it. 8:24. 8:24. If I say it twice, 2 times. Third time. 8, oh my gosh, what time? Sorry, I do need a script, you know, it's terrible ad-libbing. I was going to say 8:24, that was official, I had to put it into context. It's getting dark. Darker. I mean quicker. Okay, I've got a new screen now. Exit and continue to Windows 10. Use a device, i.e. a USB drive. Troubleshoot. Turn off your PC. Right, I've stumbled around and it's resetting the PC. I think I chose the troubleshoot option in the end, and it asked if I wanted to reset the PC. So I did. It's going to take hours. I did this before. I don't know how long it took. I'm really surprised if it takes 10 hours. Where do I begin? I've been watching YouTube on. I'll come to that in a sec. Whilst the wall went, I noticed the reflection of the light on the laptop on the wall changed and caught my attention. So I wonder if well, I'll pop round in a second and check its progress. Now I'm watching YouTube to do The Sopranos, and it's a 30-minute video that someone's made. It's all about one character in The Sopranos, not Tony Soprano himself, but one of the lesser characters who, I say lesser, but I believe he comes in quite late into the show, and the actor is quite famous to those who watch Scorsese gangster films, or Scorsese films in fact, like Raging Bull or Goodfellas or Casino. And all three star Robert De Niro, but obviously Robert De Niro never starred in The Sopranos. So the actor is Frank Vincent, and Now, this video came to my attention because I watched another Sopranos video on Frank Vincent's character, Phil Leotardo, and I remember watching the actual episode that the YouTube video was not based on it. It's actually a clip from this. It was the ending of a Sopranos episode concerning Phil Leotardo, and it was the music that came over it by it was an English artist, singer, songwriter, poet, I think he is. Oh, what's his name? Oh my gosh. I can't think of his name. He's got 3 names. I think Clark might be one of them. Maybe it's in the shortcuts here. No? Oh crikey, it's because of that video. I'm getting it all I can't find it. What's his name? Clark. To save time, I'm just going to put the name on the screen. So you have here. I'm sure it's something Clark Cooper. John Clark Cooper? Well, I'll put it here. And he's, I think he's from Manchester, and he did this song called Chicken Town. And it's basically a poem, but it's set to a, I don't know what sort of beat it is, sort of tinny percussion, but it had a, you know, sort of, not drum and bass, but definitely an electric drum beat to it. And it was really catchy. I never heard it before, and I remember seeing it in this episode, this final, this ending of a Sopranos episode, and I remember it was to do with Phil Leotardo. He was basically getting really riled up about something, about his life, how even his name Leotardo, when his family came off the boat to New York back in early days, of course they misspelled his name. Instead of Leonardo, they put Leotardo, and of course that's been his beef all his life, and now he's about to, you know, let rip. And of course then this Chicken Town song comes on. I remember that, so I found it on YouTube a few weeks ago, and I played it, and of course it sticks, so it appears. YouTube remembers that, and it suggests other videos, and then it suggested this half an hour on Phil Leotardo. So what? Well, I'm watching it. I don't know where I am in this video. I'm probably halfway, maybe near the end. I'm halfway, and I'm thinking, I've seen The Sopranos all the way back. I came in late. I always come in late, always. I know I've said this before, and I even went back to watch it from the beginning. I don't think I had the choice, but when it was on Channel 4, and they decided to show the whole series again, I managed to make sure I caught it. So I've seen all The Sopranos. I ought to be looking at that. Can I? I think the installation is going to take a long time. Right, I'll talk over her. Right, so where am I? Okay. Yes, I'm watching this. I'm halfway through it, and I don't remember any of the scenes. I don't remember any of it, and I'm thinking maybe I should watch The Sopranos from the beginning again, because on Sky Atlantic it's there. I can watch it. So I'm gonna watch the first episode again. And if I feel like watching it all the way through, then I will. I'll binge watch it, but it might. Lost my trail. See, I get easily distracted. Yeah, watch the first episode. If I like it, then I'll binge watch it all. So it could mean there might be another hiatus in the vlogs. So yes, the first episode of The Sopranos. Right, I better see what she wants. That's weird. We both heard her voice, didn't we? And yet, the headphones are plugged in. Wow. That must be really loud. Let's start with region. Is this correct? United Kingdom. Yes, it is. I just heard her voice again without putting headphones on, so I've just unplugged it to see how loud it is. Right, is this the right keyboard layout? Yes.
Do you also type with another keyboard layout?
Not that I know. Add a second keyboard layout? No. It's not that loud, is it?
Now, let's get you connected to a network. That way, you can get updates, apps, and cat videos as soon. Now, type your credentials.
Yeah, do you think it's that really loud? It doesn't seem that loud yet. I could hear it through the speaker, even though I'm not wearing them. That was harmless, it's all done. I had trouble remembering the Wi-Fi password again. It's only 3 words, and 2 of them, I don't know which order they're in. And 1 word I was mistaken for another word, because it sounds the same. But anyway, the installation is done. I thought it was going to take hours. Last time it took a very long time. So, I also have to update Microsoft Edge to the one on the Microsoft website. It wouldn't. The Windows update doesn't recognize the new Microsoft Edge because I don't know why, but I need the version on the website because it's run on Chromium, which means it's like Chrome, and when I open up the Chrome suite of products like Docs, Sheets, Drive, Gmail, I can use the shortcuts, especially in Docs. So I've just installed that. Yeah, I've got the Wi-Fi working again. So it caught my attention. There it goes again. Why is that? Oh, must be my glasses. And yeah, Wi-Fi is working. Updated the browser. I have to reinstall Shotcut in the morning. And maybe if I do use Shotcut, hopefully I will, and I use the hardware encoder and the parallel process, and it doesn't fail, and I know what I did to that operating system was the right thing to do. I'm just rambling now. Right, I'm going to make a couple of sandwiches.